What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through some player props that I got my eye on for the semi-finals of Olympic basketball. We got Germany versus France and USA versus Serbia. So I've done all my research, I've done a deep dive, and this is a banger that you're not going to see anywhere else. That sounds interesting. Let's go. All right, so we're kicking off with France versus Germany. When these teams last matched up in the group stage, Germany absolutely demolished France. France were in terrible form, actually. Then they came up against Canada and absolutely wiped them. They made some key changes to their lineup, which gives some of the player props that I'm looking at a real interesting look. How do I think this game goes? Shit, couldn't tell you. France playing real good, Germany doing good all tournament. Let's just stay away from the money lines and spreads, and let's get into some player props. So first one I wanted to talk through, somebody who was great against Canada is this man, Guerschon Yabusele. Now, Guerschon Yabusele was a first-round draft pick from the Boston Celtics in 2016. By 2019, he was out of the league. I think he's been crushing it out in Europe, though. Been doing very well. Now, I like his over 10.5 points in this game. So he's averaging the second highest points for France in this tournament at 11.8 points per game. He's covered this line in 2 out of 4 games. Most recently, scoring 22 points against Canada in the quarterfinals. Now, why do I like this pick? Well, against Canada, he played 30 minutes. Now, the reason why he played 30 minutes, keep in mind, he was averaging 18 minutes per game up until this point. Played 30 minutes up against Canada as France. Their offense has been terrible this whole Olympics. They switched shit up. They took Rudy out of the lineup, and people like Guerschon Yabusele got a lot more minutes to improve their offense. It was a masterstroke because their offense was excellent, 80-plus points against Canada in a do or die, so it's definitely working. So we're looking at reduced minutes here for Rudy Gobert. Now, I couldn't find any Rudy Gobert props on any of the sports books either. So I'm assuming here the sports books, they've got a sniff that he's probably not part of the rotation. He's also had an injury to one of his fingers. That's well known, and he said it himself. That's not going to stop him from playing. So I really do think it was more of a game plan from the coach to reduce his game time so that they can have Wemby playing the 5. They play smaller, they play faster, and there's better spacing on the court. So Yabusele, I'm expecting 20-plus minutes for him in this game. He's done that in 3 international games this year. 12 points against Serbia, 19 points against Canada, then another 22 points against Canada in the quarterfinals. Now, his shot volume isn't very high. He's averaging just over 7 attempts per game, but his shot percentage, it's over 50%, plus he's capable of getting to the free throw line, which he showed us in the last game against Canada, shooting 8 from 9 from the line. So Yabusele over 10.5 points, my very first lean, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to bet on it, but we'll see where we land. Next player to talk through is from the French team, Isaiah Cordonnier. Now, his points line's at 7.5 points, but I'm telling you, the odds are moving. People are betting his overs, and that's because he's another player who benefited from lower minutes from Rudy Gobert in the last game. He actually started that last game for France, played the game of his life, scoring 20 points. Now, I've looked into him. He's a typical 3-and-D player. So he shoots corner threes and plays defense. So his shot volume most of the time is very low. But over the last 2 games, he's attempted 7 and 10 shots with increased minutes and opportunities, and he scored 10 and 20 points covering this line in both of those games. Now, unlike Yabusele, who was always part of the rotation, Cordonnier has been in and out. If he stays in, this bet has tremendous upside, but if he does revert to his previous role, he could only attempt 2 to 3 shots in this game. It might be worth betting him for a higher line with a lower stake. You might take him for 10 points and only play half a unit, for example, but we'll see where I land. Heading over to some of the Germans. Now, I've gone through a lot of the Germans here, and the one I wanted to talk through is Isaac Bonga, and it's not his points line. 7.5 is a plus money play, though. I want to talk about his 3-pointers made prop. So it's still a plus money play for over 1.5 3-pointers made. Now, I never thought I would ever consider betting on this guy, but his form in the Olympics has been bloody excellent. In 5 international games leading up to the Olympics, he took 8 3-point attempts and he made nada. He made nothing from 3. Now, in the 4 games played in the Olympics, he shot 10 from 16 from downtown, 62.5%, the highest by Germany by a very long way. He's covered this line in all 4 games in this campaign, including 2 from 3 in the last outing against France in the group stage. Now, his volume isn't crazy high, but this is a plus money play for something that is hit in every game of this tournament, including a game against France, and I do think it's worth considering. My next look is for Daniel Tice. I did lean to his under the last time they played, which cashed, but that line's moved down, so I probably won't bet that again. But I am looking at his over 6.5 rebounds in this game. He's averaged 7.3 rebounds during this campaign, and he's covered this line in 3 out of 4 games. He does play the most minutes out of Germany's bigs, but do we think Wemby's going to be a problem? Speaking of bigs, well, I don't really think so. So Wemby doesn't crash the glass very much, and he tends to handle the ball on the perimeter. Johannes Voigtman, he's most likely going to get more minutes in this game. He normally plays about 18 to 20 minutes. Last game against France, he saw 26 minutes, and a lot of that was to pick up Wemby, given his size. So I feel like he's going to do a lot of the Wemby matchups, which is going to leave Daniel Tice as a safety to get rebounds. He'll play a lot of the weak side. He'll defend that corner. Now, Tice has covered this line in 5 out of his last 7 international games. Given it's a knockout, he should see close to his ceiling in terms of minutes. So 26 minutes at least here for Daniel Tice, and I think 6.5 rebounds, definitely something that he can do. So there are some other players in this game who caught my attention, but I didn't ultimately bet on. One being Dennis Schroeder. He's killed France in the past. A lot of scoring, a lot of assists, but his lines are just too high for me to fuck with. But if I did have to bet Dennis Schroeder, it would probably be his points plus assists. But again, I'm still uncertain about it, right? Because in order for his points plus assists to cash, you really do need him to score. Both lines are quite high, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get there, but I just don't have the confidence to bet on that. Another one is for Franz Wagner. Very similar with him. He's killed France in the past. His lines are too high for me to take to bet on. Matchup on paper doesn't make sense. France are well equipped to slow him down, but they've done a terrible job. He's killed them in preparation and exhibition games. He killed them in the group stage. And I know that for a fact because I did bet his under in that game. He absolutely cashed it. So I'm still too hesitant to take any bets on France or for Dennis Schroeder. Jumping into the next game, it's USA versus Serbia. Now, sheesh, what can we say about this? USA absolutely destroyed Serbia in the group stage. I think a 26-point win, but a lot of that happened with Nikola Jokic off the floor in a game that the Serbians wouldn't say was a must-win game, but USA absolutely wiped the floor with them. USA really locking in now, giving us the knockout stage. We should start to see the best of them. So the line in this game, though, only 16.5. I think it opened at 17.5, so people are betting on Serbia to cover. The line in the group stage was like 26 points, I believe. So it's definitely come in. People are expecting this game to be a lot closer than the last one. I've got no look when it comes to the totals or the spread. So let's get straight into the player props. The first one I'm looking at the Serbian boys, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and it's not his points prop. I actually think his rebound prop is a pretty good look. 3.5 boards. It is at minus 150, though, so it's pretty juiced. So it's probably better suited to people looking at an entry for DFS apps like Prize Picks or Dabble. Regardless, I still like it. He's averaging 4.5 rebounds in this tournament. He's covered this line in 3 out of his last 4 games. When he last matched up against Americans, he did pull down 6 rebounds. Moving into the knockout stage, we will see a lift in his minutes compared to what we saw in the group stage. So the minutes are going to be there. He played 39 minutes in an overtime game. I think it's 39 minutes in an overtime. 39 or 36, but a hell of a lot of minutes against Australia. In regular time, he should get 32 to 35 minutes. So high minutes there for Bogdan Bogdanovic. A lot of opportunity to grab some boards. So I do like the over 3.5. The odds for it aren't great. If I was to bet it, I'd have to parlay it with something else. I'm trying to avoid parlays right now, but I'll leave it up to you guys to make a call on that, on whether you think it's a good look. Now, the next player, also from Serbia, is Vasilij Micic. Now, I'm looking at over 1.5 3-pointers made. So he's covered this line in 3 out of the 4 games in this campaign. His volume hasn't been high against easier opponents. He shot only 4 per game in the games where Serbia actually won, but this matchup against USA is suitable. Now, it's not an easy matchup at all, but USA's defense is sure to stifle the Serbian offense more often than not. And what that's going to mean is late in the shot clock, they're going to have to force something up. If Micic's got that ball in his hands, most likely we're going to see some threes, some fadeaway threes or whatever it is. This happened a lot in their last matchup. He did take 7 attempts against the USA and he made 2 of them. His percentages way down compared to all of his other games. But if the volume is there against the US team and we do see his percentages improve to what they normally look like, this play looks like money. Next pick. Now, if we're talking about Serbians, how do you not talk about Nikola Jokic? Of course, his lines are all over the place. If I was going to bet Nikola Jokic, it would have to be the point sign at 20.5. So the Serbians are competitive against USA last time when the Joker was on the court. It made headlines how they were down 26 points in the 9 minutes he sat on the bench in the knockout stage. And I think it's fair to expect that Jokic is going to play more minutes. He played 39 minutes against Australia, 34 of those in regular time. I'd expect at least 35 minutes from the big man in this one. His scoring has been okay in this campaign. He scored 20 against USA, 14 against Puerto Rico in a blowout win with low minutes, 22 against South Sudan, and 21 against Australia. Now, he only attempted 15 shots in that last game against the USA, shooting 1 from 6 from downtown. I think it's fair to expect a more aggressive Jokic in this game, and hopefully we see him knock down some threes. Here's a special fact. He's 1 from 10 from downtown in his last 2 games against the USA, so the volume is there. So you might even want to look at his three-pointers made prop. I haven't taken a look at that yet, actually, and it's because it's not here. But if it's available in your book, his three-pointers could be a good look because the volume's there. I'd be happy taking 20.5 points in a knockout game with the best player in the world. Let's go. Now, another one. Heading to the US. Looking at Anthony Edwards here. Point signs at 12.5. I'm actually looking at the under at 12.5. It's a plus money play, plus 100. Now, Anthony Edwards overs, the opposite of this play, will probably be a popular play given how low the line is. He's the top scorer for the USA team, averaging 16 points per game in this Olympics. Despite this, the books have set his line low at 12.5. He scored 11 points in the game against him in the group stage and 16 against him in the preparation games. If you've been watching Edwards, he's had a lot of points late in games during a blowout. With the line coming down, Serbia might keep this closer than expected, which should see USA run more of their core players, getting a lot more minutes, meaning somewhat less minutes here for Anthony Edwards. So I might be willing to roll the dice on that one. But a play that I absolutely love, if we're looking at the USA, it's for Devin Booker. And I like his points plus assists. So it's 12.5 right now. He's averaging 12 points and 4 assists per game throughout this tournament. He's covered this line in 3 out of the 4 games. Now, the reason why I love this one so much is his point line is at 10.5 and his assist line's at 3.5. So technically, we should be seeing lines at about 14.5, 13.5 if you're lucky. So this is an absolute steal at 12.5. I believe they mispriced it. I've checked other books, and I've seen it for 14.5 on others. So 12.5 here on Bet365 for Devin Booker. Seems like absolute cash. Now, Booker plays the second most minutes for Team USA behind Bron. His ability to be a role player and play both sides of the ball is keeping him on the court. The only game where he's gone under this points and assists line was against Puerto Rico, where he finished on 11 in 17 minutes due to a blowout. The other 3 games, he's cleared this line with ease. Whilst we're on the topic of USA, let's talk through some other players. I don't necessarily have a lean on them because I was a little bit undecided. What the hell? I was about to make up some damn words. We've got Steph Curry. His line's at 11.5. He's been total ass this whole tournament, but he could turn it on real quick, so I'm not bothered to take his under. Anthony Davis tends to get a lot of minutes against Serbia, but he hasn't necessarily hit these lines. Kevin Durant, 14.5 points is his line. He scorched Serbia earlier. Has been a little bit slow as of late, but a little bit uncertain as to what he could do. We've got Anthony Edwards at 12.5. I've spoken about that. Bede, I wanted to take his under, but he has been playing quite well as of late. Drew Holiday, not really keen on his markets. LeBron, his lines are quite high. 15.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists, I believe. So his lines are up there. And I don't want to bet the under in such an important game. LeBron should fill up the stat sheet. I think if I was looking at Bron, you could look at a 10, 5, and 5. But given his line at the moment, I'm sure the odds for that are going to be trash. 15, 5, and 5. It's minus 140. So you could get this exact play at much better odds earlier in the tournament. But for now, I don't think it's a great look anymore. So there's a lot of leans that I've shared in this video. And I'm not going to bet them all. If you want to tell all the bets that I do place, though, my VIP is the place to go. It's where I share all the bets that I make across every single sport. Now, right now is the best time to jump on board. That's because I'm running a promo, and it's only for the people who watch my YouTube videos. I'm giving you guys 75% off my VIP picks, and you can lock that in for a full 12 months. This closes at the end of the Olympic basketball slate, which is this weekend. So lock it in now at this low price. You'll have it locked in for the next 12 months. It's going to include WNBA, NFL, and the NBA, all bets that I place. Now, there will be other promos in the future for sure, but not at 75% off. I'll tell you that one. So feel free to check it out. So this is what it looks like. You can sign up to my free plan. There's a couple of free picks every single day. Feel free to do that. There's also the VIP. You can do it monthly or annually. If you do it annually, it is still a little bit cheaper than the monthly. Let me show you what you need to do. Just jump on, hit subscribe. It'll take you to the payment page. Apply the promo, which I'm sharing with you all today, which is OG Duff. for my OG viewers of YouTube. Once you apply that discount, you'll see that instead of $1,500 annually, it comes down to $375. And if you want to do it monthly, instead of $150 a month, and I spelt the bloody code wrong, there it is. If you want to do it monthly, it's $37.50 per month. So be sure to check it out. VIP's only been out for a short time, but we're a couple of units in the positive. This Olympic Games has been pretty good on the terms of the basketball front, and we've got WNBA coming up soon. So feel free to check it out, like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't, and drop us a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll catch you boys in the next one. Peace.